Thanks for joining us here on Beyond the Mic Sports, where we go beyond the surface and give you takes you won't see coming. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay in tune for the vibes.
Yeah. If I'm the Eagles, I would look to move him if the guy's going to be really bellyaching. I'm not convinced that the Chiefs are back. Baltimore is a terrible defense, and they've been giving it up to everybody. Chiefs ain't back.
We got to get to that. Welcome back to Beyond the Mic Sports Podcast, where we talk everything football and basketball related. I'm here with Chem Report staff and our special guest, former ESPN analyst and host, starter of MLBBro.com and current Fox Sports radio host of The Odd Couple, and NABJ Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Rob Parker. How are we feeling today, guys?
What's happening? What's up? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. We got a jam-packed football show today, talking about the Giants, Chargers, Ravens, and Chiefs. But first, let's start with a team in the NFC East. The Eagles traveled to Tampa this weekend to play the Buccaneers, and it shaked a lot of heads, either up or down or left to right. I'm interested to see what you guys feel and how you guys feel about how the Eagles handle their business.
Well, I mean, the Eagles handle business like usual. You know, Jalen Hurts doesn't have to perform well. He could throw under 100 yards and they still win. 4-0 now, so all credit to Sirianni and what he's doing, running a tight ship. They just figure out how to win games no matter what happens. Special teams, huge shout out to special teams because they always do it. Second week in a row with the special teams touchdown, you don't get that often. So if you want to keep banking on that, Eagles fans, be my guest.
I don't know about having to bank on anything. They've won 18 straight games. I mean, it's about winning. Sports has a short menu, wins and losses. You guys can sit around and talk about how it looks and all this other stuff and whatnot. None of that really matters. It's about winning games. That's why all the talk with A.J. Brown complaining about how many balls he's getting in targets and yards. I mean, if I'm the Eagles, I would look to move him if the guy's going to be really bellyaching. You've won a Super Bowl. Yes, I would move on. I would find somebody who wants to win and not complaining, not putting out cryptic messages on social media. Be a man. Talk to the coach. And find out what's happening. He had over 100 yards the week before. And now he's bellyaching because he only had 7 yards or whatever. That's all I'm saying. It should be about winning. It's hard to repeat. Eagles are trying to do something special. Win and move on to the next game. That's how I look at football.
I don't know about trading A.J. Brown. I'll be the first one to say it. That would put us, first of all, we'd be in cap hell. That would start a whole abundance of issues. And I don't like trading A.J. Brown. I'll leave it at that. But I think the Eagles are definitely showing flashes, key point flashes of how dominant they can be. But they're also showing on any given half how bad they can be. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. You all know this. But 0 completions in a half is insane. Like, that's something I never thought I would live through. And it's not even his fault some of the times. It's really not. But it's just like, you can't go through
the Jalen Hurts argument or conversation last year, everybody, if you watched any of the pre-Super Bowl pre-games, all you got to do is stop Saquon and you'll beat the Eagles. Well, Saquon had like 40 yards and Jalen made all the throws and did everything you needed to do to win and was Super Bowl MVP. So I get it. You would like him to have more yards and completions and look like some of these other quarterbacks, but they're getting the job done. And it's not like he hasn't performed. In the Super Bowl, they lost to Kansas City. He actually played great, except for that one fumble. Outplayed Mahomes. Agreed. So we know that he can play and can do stuff when you need him to do it in those circumstances. Jalen Hurts is not an issue for me. I don't care what he looks like. I don't care what his numbers are. He's won 18 straight games. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real.
You're my guy.
The Eagles have won 18 straight.
See, you see how they start?
Have won 18 straight.
Listen, man, the Eagles won 18 straight, not Jalen Hurts. Trading AJ
on the team.
Trading AJ Brown is crazy. it's
I'm just
crazy.
saying if he's going to bellyache about his numbers, I don't want anybody like that. If that's the issue, is all I'm saying. If he's going to, like, if you got an issue, keep it in house. The only time I want to hear a receiver complaining is if he's not getting the ball and you're losing. Okay, then you could say the offense isn't working. It doesn't make sense. You can't win 18 games in a row, and every time you have an off week, it's the end of the world. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about if the guy can just understand it's a team situation. Everybody wants numbers. I get it. Look at Saquon. Is he rushing for the same yards he did last year? No.
He's been terrible. It's been terrible to
Well,
start.
because they putting extra guys in the box. They're not. They saw that show last year. That's not going to be the show that you're going to see this year, and they're still winning.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but when it's contract time and it's time for him to get paid and feed his family, and you look at the numbers aren't going to match up because Jalen Hurts doesn't want to push that ball downfield to him. So when it's time for him to get paid and feed his family, they're going to say, hey, you aren't producing.
He's already been paid. Everybody knows what kind of receiver he is, and people will look at it. Come on, do not stop with the idea that people don't know. He's been paid. They paid him. That's why they're in cap hell, yes. So you're acting like when it's time to get paid.
Okay, but wait, you brought up a really good point when you mentioned how even Saquon isn't complaining. And that pushes me to a bigger issue that I think is going on with the overall offense. The run game and Saquon Barkley, they just haven't been there outside of Jalen Hurts and his rushing and his scrambles. So I feel like that's going to be a problem for the Eagles that they have to solve. So y'all think they're going to solve that soon enough?
They're not going to win every game. They're going to get beat, and everything's not going to go their way. Of course you wish you were running the ball more. Of course you wish the offense was throwing the ball downfield. But it is about winning. That's all I'm saying. Until you start losing and you can look at some of these things, then I would buy into it. You go to Tampa Bay and beat a good Bucks team, I'd take that any day. Any day.
With a top five defense.
So, the Eagles remind me of a team last year, right? The wins aren't pretty at all, right? But nobody cares. Everybody want to talk about AJ Brown because they winning. Last year when the Kansas City Chiefs was winning last year and the wins was very ugly and the offense had a problem, wasn't y'all attacking the Kansas City Chiefs and saying that they wasn't a good team? How come the Eagles aren't getting the same treatment?
Well, I don't agree.
Hold on. When the run game don't look good, when the receivers are combining from 4 receptions and 30 yards.
Well, because in the Chiefs situation, it has been a deterioration over the last couple of years. And they've been lucky more than they've been good. And that's what people are watching. Last year, the perfect example is that Patrick Mahomes, right, despite going 15-1 in his starts, got zero first place votes for MVP on a team that was 15-1. Why? Because his numbers weren't good. So people looked at Patrick Mahomes, how he started in the league, how he used to throw the ball downfield. He's got interceptions. He's just not the same player that we've seen over time. And even this last game, I'm not convinced that the Chiefs are back. Baltimore is a terrible defense, and they've been giving it up to everybody. Chiefs ain't back.
We got to get to that.
Back from what? They've been giving up 40 points a game, the Ravens. I'm not buying that.
So quickly though, what about the Bucks? We talked about the Eagles a lot. The Bucks continuously have terrible starts to their games. Terrible starts. They had 6 points in the first half. You're not going to beat elite teams like that.
No, at some point you can't rely on coming back. Every game's not going to be a comeback victory. Baker Mayfield's done an unbelievable job, has pulled out games. You like to see that. But that's not the way you want to live on the edge. That's not going to be able. A steady diet of that is going to cost you. So they know that. But the Bucks are in a good spot, and Baker Mayfield has done a great job for them.
I like that. I think Baker's been really good. The only thing I'm worried about with them is the slow starts. And I don't know, is Baker going to turn back into Baker?
No, that's not going to happen. Baker's not going to do that. Baker's been consistently performing over the past 2 seasons. He's doing it week after week, using his legs, extending plays, just creating magic on the field. He's gonna get Mike Evans back. He's gonna get his right tackle back. The Bucs are going to be situated. If you're the Eagles, I think you need to fear this team in the playoffs.
Oh, I agree.
Not only Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
He's back. He's back.
Bucky Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
Good offensive line. Defense is good. This team is very, very scary. Very, very scary. This one game don't symbolize who they are. This team is very scary.
Emeka looks like offensive rookie of the year for me
right now. Yeah. T-Mac.
Maybe I'm forgetting. Not McMillan. Tedero is not better than him right now.
I get it though. He's shown a lot of flashes, but his game is so interesting because I think he's a zone beater. I don't think he's a man. I don't think he's that much of a man beater at this point in his career. Quinyon Mitchell had him in max. He had him in a 2x2. He couldn't get open for the life. Had him in a 2x2.
We are talking about Quinyon Mitchell though.
I know. Holden. Nah, he's a shutdown.
We are talking about Quinyon Mitchell. He is locked down defender. I lost all respect to the Packers.
Why?
I lost all respect to the Packers after watching that. Yeah, they just dropped 40 and they just gave up 40 to the Cowboys.
They're the number one offense, though. Dallas is the number one offense right
now. That's a big L. You can't. I'm sorry. If you're a Green Bay, you got to be able to win that game. And that just 40, shows 40. You.
Let's stick in the NFC East. The Giants upset the Chargers, and Jackson Dart looked really good and even outplayed Justin Herbert. Yes, Justin Herbert.
Did he outplay Justin Herbert, or did Justin Herbert turn in a terrible game? Jackson Dart had 100 yards. Can we stop? Let's stop. He had 100 yards. I'm not buying into that. Yeah, that was a terrible performance by the Chargers. No way a rookie quarterback should beat that team. And if Justin Herbert doesn't have a terrible game, they win that game easily. I just to lose to the Giants. I get the West Coast to the East Coast and all that and that, but that was ridiculous. And I'm not saying that Justin Dart can't play or Jackson Dart can't play or he's not good or anything, but I'm not going to celebrate that. That was the Chargers playing some bad football in that spot to lose to a team like the Giants. The Giants are awful.
The Chargers are down 3 offensive linemen. They're down 3. And they're down a running back in Najee Harris.
Thank you. And that's part of it. But I'm just saying, I just thought like that game was one of those, and I get it when you get pressure and then you make mistakes and you're forced into some of them. But did I really think that they were going to lose to the Giants, that chance to be 4-0? I just didn't. And they barely lost. They didn't get blown out or something. They barely lost. I think that game, they'll look back at it later on in the season and think like, how did we let that one get away? Look, go check the stats and see how many rookie quarterbacks don't win their first game in the NFL. It's almost impossible. Almost.
See, and that's why I'm even more moved by this performance. Like, it's not going to jump off the charts with the numbers. You throw for 111 passing yards if you're Jackson Dart, and that's not amazing, obviously, but situational down to down, when it mattered, he converted. They were converting on third down consistently. Jackson was using his legs when he needed to as a runner, but to create a little bit downfield. He even missed there's a pass he could have got back to Darius Slayton where he would have had his first career passing touchdown, and another touchdown that got broken up out of the receiver's hands. So Jackson, surprisingly, he really impressed me. I'll be honest with you. And Malik Neighbors even went down. So to do that, so the Chargers to this point were the best defense in the league, and the Giants just tore that notion up, in my opinion.
The Giants stink. Let's not uplift them because Justin Herbert sold this game. Justin Herbert is missing 3 offensive linemen, 3 starters, going against potentially the best defensive line, which is the New York Giants. Jackson Dart, a lot of these plays, I'm going to tell you this, the only thing I liked about him was the energy level was different. He knew he was doing when it was crunch time. It was different. You feel me? Using his legs, using his arm. He did a lot of like small gimmies, right? But his game, the Chargers gave it away. They played so bad, but they still lost by 3 points. What do that tell you about the Giants?
That's what I'm saying. I'm with you on that. And I'm not, a win is a win. I always say sports has a short menu. It's wins and losses. So the Giants won. I'll give them some credit, as people would say. I'll do that. But I'm just not here to crown anybody. Too many guys have played, have a game, and people are ready to say, "Oh yeah, the Giants got their quarterback for the next 12 years." I'm just not in that camp. I've seen so many guys play well for a few games. When they get tape on them, once they make adjustments, and then that's how football and sports is. Then once they make an adjustment on you, then you have to see. Everybody tried to do that in Houston. Oh, they're going after 1 year. Oh, C.J. Stroud. Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl. Oh, they got Stephon Diggs now. Oh, my God. Who's going to stop them? Dude, they can't even score. Last week was the first time they scored a touchdown. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. It looks so bad.
Everybody crowns C.J. Stroud. Jay Daniels had a great first year, too. Once you get tape on you, it's going to change. It don't mean that they're not good or they're not going to get better or they have to make some adjustments. But it makes a difference when there's tape out on you and people can see what your tendencies are and how to be able to defend that. And that's all I'm saying is that C.J. Stroud is the perfect example of people crowning people after 1 year. Who was the other guy that the Giants had? Tommy, whatever the guy was.
Tommy
Cutlets.
Tommy DeVito's nothing compared to Jackson.
No. But I'm just saying he had some moments and people were like, he became a cult hero because he had some. You could have moments in the NFL. It's about consistency and being able to build off of it. That's all. I'm not saying that Jackson Dart is Tommy DeVito or whatever, but I'm just saying people have come in the league and have had moments. I'm going to always pump the brakes when it comes to crowning people after one game.
For sure.
Even
So
if I have to crash the car. I'm just saying.
Okay. Here's where I stand on it. I think for the Chargers going forward, I hate this loss for them. I don't know if you're John Harbaugh, I don't know what you're doing for the next couple of weeks. Down 3 offensive linemen, your backup running back, and you have to lean on your quarterback with a bad offensive line who likes to crumble under pressure. This is a known fact. We've seen it year after year. Justin Herbert crumbles under pressure. We've seen it. He did it last week. He did it against the Giants. We just seen it. This is a known fact. I don't know John Harbaugh's game plan. Now, Marion Hampton was running so great down 3 offensive linemen. He had a great game. But for a rookie to do that week after week after week, I think that's hard.
He's going to do that. He's going to do that week after week.
I don't think they have enough time to do that.
But wait a minute. You're talking about Jim Harbaugh, right? Not John.
Yes, Jim Chargers. Yes, because I don't think they have enough faith for him to do it week after week, and I think that's why they got Harris.
No. They got Harris because you need 2 running backs.
Okay.
They drafted Omarion knowing he was going to be the feature back. Going into training camp, we already knew what the deal was prior to Najee's injury. They were buzzing about Omarion Hampton and how electric he is. And you see the explosiveness with him. You see the burst. You saw the long touchdown he had against the Giants. I expect to see a lot of more runs like that from out of Omarion Hampton. He's golden. He's golden, man. He's gonna be one of the best backs in the league years to come.
I'm saying banking on that with down 3 offensive linemen in week 4.
The Chargers are going to choke the rock.
Okay.
Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman are going to tote the rock. The carries are going to be there for him. The space is going to be there for him with the pass catches that they have.
Well,
then maybe Jim Harbaugh will be able to find a way to cheat like they did at Michigan. I'm just saying.
I think that's more accurate. I think that's more accurate. Go Penn State, by the way. But I think it's going to be really hard to rely on a rookie running back down 3 offensive linemen, and then when that pressure flips to your quarterback, knowing that he likes to crumble. I think it's kind of a dilemma, and maybe we don't see it yet. Maybe we don't see it next week. Maybe we don't see it the week after. But those offensive linemen aren't coming back. Najee Harris is also not coming back. So it's going to be interesting as the season progresses. Our team's going to say, okay, yeah, run the ball 25 times a game with Amari and Hampton, and let's see if you win.
But it's just the dual threat fact that they have. The fact that they have Justin Herbert who can unleash his arm if he has to, which he did in week 1. We thought this was going to be a run-heavy team, but no, Herbert shows that, hey, I can sling this rock too. And then it's not even about just the offense and you saying Justin Herbert's going to crumble. This defense is here. I know they gave up a loss to the Giants, but we didn't mention that the Giants got the ball on their 3-yard line 2 times in that game. So they had short field. So that's easy 14 points right there.
Why?
The Chargers defense, because one interception, Lad McConkey slipped, and then the other one, Sexy Dexy made a big play. So Sexy Dexy, good interception. All right, but the defense for the Chargers is there this year. Tyre Tart and on the interior defensive tackle, like one of the best linemen.
And it's hard on the defense when you're giving up the ball in your own zone, in your end, trying to defend. It just makes it harder. It's not fair, but it's football.
And I'm not going to expect that from Justin Herbert week to week. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's why I say it's such a bad game for him. It really was a bad game.
Terrible game.
They didn't play good as a whole, but I do want to shout out Derwin James because, I used to say Kyle Hamilton was the best safety in football, but Derwin James makes it really hard to say that week after week. He makes it really hard to say that week after week. But speaking about the Ravens and the Chiefs played, and we have a whole bunch to unpack.
It starts bigger than that. John Harbaugh should be fired, and I said it after week 1. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. There are too many. When you score 41 points or 40 points on the road in game 1, and you don't win that game, there's a problem. And they've had a history of this. They're still living off that same one championship, that John Harbaugh won, beating his brother. I'm sorry that every year there's an excuse on why the Ravens don't get it done. On paper, they have a really good team. They have a special quarterback that you may never ever see again. Before this game, he actually tied Aaron Rodgers for the best quarterback rating in the history of the National Football League. Not of the last 5 years, in the history of the league. This is a guy that Bill Polian, who's a Hall of Fame general manager, is talking about he should be a wide receiver. This guy, what he does with his legs and throwing the football now as a passer is unbelievable. And at some point, you can't keep doing the same thing. You got to look and figure out you need new leadership. John Harbaugh has been there too long. This ain't no, I said it after week 1 and people were like, oh, you're just a prisoner of the moment. It's just the first game and what. Now, 4 weeks in and 1-3 record and a terrible defense, people are now looking at John Harbaugh a little bit more. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results, okay? Now, that division is not out of reach. It just depends on how far Lamar is going to be out or whatever, because Cleveland's no good. And, the Steelers are off to a good start, 3-1. And the Steelers, to me, have been impressive from this standpoint. 3-1, they got 3 wins and 0 wins at home. 0 wins at. I see your T-shirt, but you get my point. 0 wins at 3 wins in the first 4 weeks, and they don't even have a home win yet. That's impressive to me.
Hey, Steeler Nation, tell the Ravens to watch out. If I put on my analyst cap right now, I did say the Ravens were going to win the Super Bowl just because I felt like it was their time. I thought it was Lamar's time, but in 4 weeks, the fact that the bowl hosts can go just like that, it just amazes me, and it just shows the football world that we're living in, just from year to year, and how hard it is to really build for a championship. They don't have the defense right now. It's the worst in the league, like we're saying. But more importantly, I don't think that enough of the blame is going to their MVP quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Now,
It's hard. I can't get on that camp when your
I'm not
defense
with
is
it
giving up
either.
when your defense gives up 40 points a week. Is he perfect? No. His first three starts, he had the best start of any quarterback in the history of the NFL through numbers wise. The first three games. Last week he played poorly against Kansas City. I'll give you that. But I can't. You can sit around and pick on Lamar all you want. In Buffalo, he put up 40 points in the opener in Buffalo, and they didn't win the game. You gonna blame that on
No,
Lamar?
Okay,
Come
so he
on.
puts up 40 in Buffalo, but then he travels to Arrowhead and then he fumbles when they're winning. That fumble happened when the Ravens were winning. From there on, the pieces started to fall because of a Lamar fumble. He wants to hold on to that rock, and then it's like he's gonna turn the ball over when it matters. He's not a big gamer, and as much as I love Lamar, he's a talent. I love him, but he's just not a big game guy.
All it
And D,
takes is I just
Derek,
think that's a
I know you're gonna love this, but
I think that's a narrative that down the road you'll be like, I've heard this a lot about players. Because I covered Michael Jordan his day. And that's the same thing they used to say about him his first 7 years when he didn't win. Oh, he scores a lot of points, he's a great player, but he doesn't make anybody better and he won't win. People used to say that. You should go back and look at conversations and columns that were written about Michael Jordan. Same thing. John Elway got the Super Bowls, used to lose all the time, and he won his last two Super Bowls, obviously, and no one ever talks about that. Dan Marino was a great quarterback, right? Went to the Super Bowl second year, never won. If you think Lamar, with his talent, is not going to win a Super Bowl, I think you're crazy. And I think once he breaks through, he'll win a couple. I really believe he's that talented.
he's getting older. That hamstring is important now.
I'm gonna
Staff, I'm
say
gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go because I'm about to tear Kenny up. I'm gonna let you go, Staff.
to be quite honest with you, I already knew what was gonna happen. I need to see the Chiefs
That's a
do this
lot.
multiple weeks. No, I knew this was gonna happen. I seen the Ravens defense multiple times. They like to just give up points. Um, they secondary. We talking about the linebackers. We talking about the line. Their secondary can't guard either. I'm gonna be honest, right? Um, so I knew we was gonna score a lot of points. Our speedy receiver came back, and a lot of people forgetting about the Chiefs offense. We got a man named Tyquan Thornton.
Okay.
Balling,
Tyquan
gamer,
Thornton.
gamer.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest, right? He's one of them speedy receivers. He can't really track the ball now. You just gotta make sure the quarterback can get it in his hands. That's all you need, right? To speak on the Ravens, though, let's not speak on the Chiefs. To speak on the Ravens, though, Ravens suck. Like they suck, and I don't want to hop on the Lamar camp, but that is subjective. The reason why it's subjective is that when your defense sucks so much, right, and they keep giving up points, and you just have to put the book back on, and then your running back is fumbling every single game,
Thank you. Like
right?
those are two huge fumbles that cost him two games. And the same thing, you could put on Lamar. Oh, Lamar the big dude, you cannot fumble the ball. That's two wins. If he doesn't fumble in those two games, right, you're probably now 3-1, right? Or three or
Yep,
two, at least 2-2. Those are
yep.
no two of those games. You would have won two of those. Like those
And
are
you beat the
those are
Bills.
huge. When they lost to the Lions, they gave up 250 yards on the ground. You can't win a football game if the other team rushes for 250 yards. I don't care what your quarterback does. And they still only lost by 8 points, right? Like I'm
Right.
just saying, like it's
David
easy to,
Montgomery
and
looked
I'm
like
not
Jerry
I'm
Sanders.
not making excuses. It's easy to just pick on Lamar. It just is. I think you got to
Easy.
look at the coaching staff, what the defense has done. Derrick Henry just hasn't this season with the fumbles have really hurt the team. You win that game to start the season in Buffalo, you're on a different mindset. The way that they went in there and ran roughshod over them, that was impressive. I was like, God.
And you know why I find this so interesting, Rob? Because you're sitting with two talent guys. These are guys that love talent in a quarterback. They don't really care, they care what it looks like. It has to look like very pretty. So for y'all to come in here and sit and say Lamar Jackson isn't a big game hunter, I know he's a talent, but he doesn't get it done. I just find that so interesting when we praise guys like Herbert. Every week on this show, we praise guys like Herbert. We praise guys like
I
Jaden
want I want
Daniels.
you to go back. I'm gonna just give you one. Couple years ago on Christmas night in San Francisco. Him and Brock Purdy were basically neck and neck for the MVP. Do you remember the performance he put on the
Yep.
road against the 49ers? He won the MVP that night, if you remember. It's Christmas night. He balled out. And I'm just saying, I've seen those moments last year, and they lost. He throws the ball to Mark Andrews. Are you kidding?
Hit him
No,
in
was in that game, though.
No.
hit him in the stomach, though.
That ball, I'm just talking about, no one's perfect. Yes, he had a turnover, but I'm saying in that game, remember this. He marched him down in 1 minute and 10 seconds to tie the game. Mark Andrews has to make that catch. He robbed us of a moment there. It wasn't like it was 3 and out or whatever. People love Matthew Stafford. Last year against Philadelphia, when they got down in scoring position, what did he do? 4 and out. That's what happened in that, right? 4 and out. Game's over. So all I'm saying is, be fair. Lamar's a talent, and I just think there's other factors there. And that moment will come in that situation. That's all I'm saying.
That's why I don't want to jump on the train yet for Lamar. Just the fact that other people around him isn't performing. You know, Derrick Henry, he's having good games, but then he ruined the games when he fumbled. You got the defensive line. No quarterback is scared of them. No quarterback.
Why should they? Right? They can't get through, and then and they can't stop the running back. I mean, come on. You can't win in the National Football League like that.
And I seen Dell was saying that all the linebackers sucked, other than Roquan Smith. I seen Roquan Smith miss a lot of tackles that game. You don't try to single out players because they name. The whole defense, nobody can tackle, nobody can guard. Their zone don't even look like a zone. The one play to Pacheco, everybody went nobody was there.
The only player that's been playing decent to good on that team is Kyle Hamilton. Jair Alexander is robbing the Ravens of money. He is robbing the Ravens of money. Marlon Humphrey is doing TikToks after the game.
God.
Marlon Humphrey is doing TikToks after the game.
Whoever offense on him. So many times. Look, Marlon Humphrey, like a lot of those plays too against the Chiefs, just put a speedy receiver on him, throw him the ball. Like literally.
And Nate Wiggins can't tackle.
Somebody have to pay for it though. Somebody have to pay for this.
Yeah.